Collecting a sample at a wadeable site. Wade as far into the water as is safe and comfortable to get to flowing water. Try to avoid collecting water from right next to the bank unless that is the only safe way for you to collect your sample. The goal is to collect a sample from mid-depth, not the surface water or in a way that disturbs and collects sediment from the bottom. Once you wade in, wait for any sediment that you may have disturbed to settle, and then sample upstream from your body. Collect the sample in a U shape, putting the bottle straight down, turning it underwater to be parallel with the stream bed, and allowing the bottle to fill. You may push it gently upstream if necessary. Then lift it straight up out of the water. Use a gentle flick to remove excess water from the bottle. Carefully secure the cap, making sure that it is properly aligned and fully tightened to ensure that it does not leak. Again, fill the bottle using a U shape. Straight down, forward, and then back up. Flick to remove excess. A total phosphorus sample is collected the same way as the E. coli sample demonstrated before, except using the glass tube. After collecting the full bottle, carefully flick excess water off until you reach the fill line. Phosphorus is particularly sticky, so filling the bottle multiple times can skew the results higher. If you fail to collect enough water or flick off too much, top off the existing water in the tube rather than collecting a whole new sample. Some bottles require rinsing prior to sampling to remove any residual contaminants in the bottle. These bottles are the total nitrogen bottle, which is a plastic tube with a blue cap, the chloride bottle, which is a plastic tube with a purple cap, and the conductivity bottle, which is a square plastic bottle. To rinse the bottle, fill it with water upstream from your body, and then dump it out downstream to avoid recollecting your rinse water. Repeat this process 2 more times. Rinse the cap 3 times as well. Then, collect your sample using the technique demonstrated before. This shows you how far to fill each bottle. For the tubes, fill to the top and flick off just a little to allow room for the lab to shake the sample before processing. These caps are also the most likely to end up misaligned and then leak, showing up at the lab with no sample. Please double check that they are tightened properly. For the E. coli bottles and the conductivity bottle, fill these up to the shoulder, which collects plenty of sample to process, but allows room to shake. For the glass total phosphorus tube, the Vermont lab has asked that the bottles be filled to precisely the marked line. For all samples, it is better to err on the side of being overfilled rather than under, to make sure that there is enough sample to process. If your site is not wadeable but has a dock, you may collect a sample from moving water off of the dock using the same U shape. Whenever possible, collect your sample upstream of the dock or anything that may affect the sample.